red flags. I'm sure we've all had our share of experiences when it comes to toxic relationships, betrayal and heartache, breakups, and so much more. In this series, we'll be discussing love, betrayal, and of course, spilling the tea. We'll also be giving you advice on how to deal with toxic relationships, specifically red flags in toxic relationships. I'm your host, Margo Dodgen, and I'll be with you as we discuss toxic human behavior. Today's topic will be specifically on toxic romantic relationships. You know, that feeling of having butterflies in your stomach and wanting affection and love from someone. I'm sure we've all been there. We've all been in love before. I've been in love before. And we've asked a few viewers what their thoughts are on this. And most of them said star signs and birthdays. So watch this. What star sign would you never date?
Definitely a Cancer and a Gemini.
Ma'am, I'm a Gemini.
Oh, I apologize for that. Sorry. But the reason why I wouldn't date either signs is because they're very manipulative, and that's a no for me.
What star sign would you not date?
Virgos, definitely a Virgo. Bad experience. It will never work out because I'm also one, and I know I'm a terrible person. So, yeah.
Which star sign would you never date?
I would definitely never date a Sagittarius. I believe they are manipulative, gaslighting, narcissistic people. And as a Capricorn, generally, we just really calm people and we don't like any of that stuff.
You know what? As a Scorpio, I would say stay away from Scorpios. Like, it's the drama for me. We're way too emotional. It's the gaslighting. So I'm sorry for betraying my kind, but I would say stay away from Scorpios as much as you can.
And that is why we don't date Scorpios. Just kidding. I'm sure my Scorpios out there. So we have an expert that's here today. He's called the Love Doctor. But before we welcome him, I would just like to take a step back and think of times, you know, when we've been in love. Not all relationships are toxic and have red flags. Some do work out, some are incompatible. And that is why we've asked the Love Doctor to join us today, David Neal.
Very, very good evening. Margo, how are you?
Hi David, good thanks. How are you? You may have a seat.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank
It's
you.
good having you here with us today.
It's good to be here.
So
Very good to be
David, before we get going of what the viewers had to say,
Yeah.
I would just like to know why the Love Doctor. Who
Why
gave
the
you
Love
that name?
Doctor? That's a very good question. So it started out basically with me wanting to do music and writing songs. I'm actually a singer and performer by profession, and I wanted to spread the message of love through my music, and that's where the Love Doctor found me. The Love Doctor is basically a play on the medical doctor. Medical doctor helps people and brings them back to life. The Love Doctor helps people with relationships and brings them back to love.
Back to love. Okay, thank you for that. So, as you saw, the viewers, they mentioned certain terms such as manipulation, narcissism, gaslighting.
Yeah.
Would you mind elaborating on that a bit?
Yeah, so let me go over gaslighting, for example. So, gaslighting refers to manipulation, using psychological methods to their own sanity or powers of reasoning. So I'll give you a very good example of this. Gaslighting in a relationship. Distraction with caution. If you're in a relationship and your partner uses toxic situations and sugarcoats them and makes you feel like you are overreacting, that right there is gaslighting. Yeah.
Okay, and with regards to narcissism, could you give us a bit more?
I call that one the cancer of all red flags. Narcissism is basically selfishness mixed with a sense of self-entitlement. A narcissist basically lacks empathy, and they always have a dire need for praise.
Yeah.
So yeah, another major red flag.
Okay, so that's quite interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us.
It's only my pleasure.
So there was a few viewers that we asked to share things with us anonymously.
Yeah.
And you don't mind answering those questions?
Not at all.
Okay.
That's why I'm here.
So, love doctor, I don't know what to do. I just met this guy a few weeks ago and he is already controlling me. At first I thought it was cute, the fact that he is possessive and jealous. But now it's starting to scare me. He tells me who I can or cannot talk to. He even watches my 24/7 moves and I need to update him on my day. What do I do?
Wow, I'm going to be straightforward with Anonymous. This reeks of toxicity. And that's what we are speaking about today, red flags. This whole relationship, as she described it, reeks of red flags, you know. It's okay to be jealous in the first few weeks of dating a partner. We're only human. We have emotions. But at the end of the day, there's a difference between jealousy and insecurity. And I think that is the problem. It's a him problem. So
Okay.
she definitely needs to speak to him, work things out, and
Take it from there.
take it from there, you know.
Okay, and then we've got another one. It says, love doctor, my girlfriend physically abuses me. She would often give me a smack now and then if she's irritated. I feel like a wimp if I tell anyone about it. But she has scratched my arm before, trying to reach for my phone. Should I endure this or run for my life?
I don't think Anonymous needs the love doctor. I think he needs the police to come and fetch that lady, because in no way can we condone any type of domestic violence. We were given hearts to love, but we were also given legs to run when we are facing such things in our relationships, and that is also very toxic. He deserves much better. So I'd say run with your life.
I agree with you, yes. And then I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
Love doctor, I've been dating my boyfriend for 4 years and he hasn't put a ring on it. What should I do?
Okay. You want to get married, but does he want to get married? That's the question she needs to ask her partner. And the only other option I can give advice on is, girl, choose a leap year and you pop that
And you pop
question
the question.
yourself, you know?
Thank you so much for that, love doctor.
That's a pleasure.
Thank you. That is very insightful. So we have our next guest, Lee Jacobs. He was crowned the second prince in the 2020 Mr. SA pageant. But even a prince has to deal with red flags. After the break, we'll ask Lee how he dealt with this.
Hi, my name is Lee Jordan Jacobs and I am born and bred in the Cape Winelands. I am currently self-employed with a business that specializes in furniture and interiors. I'm an interior designer profession. I've always been creative with a passion for business, and that's what led me on this path of entrepreneurship. I wasn't always the most confident person. As a young boy, I grew up very introverted because I was judged for my deep voice. I was skinny at the time, and that caused to have a lack of self-confidence, lack of self-worth. And I went through all those feels, but I decided to take a bold move and change things within myself to gain some confidence in myself. And that's why I decided to enter Mr. South Africa 2020, to use this platform to become more confident and for personal growth. And I ended up in the top 3 as Mr. South Africa second prince of 2020. And my motto in life is that you are never too young to start an empire and never too old to dream a new dream.
Welcome back, guys. We are so excited to have Lee Jacobs here with us today. Welcome, Lee.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with us. So, Lee, I believe that you've also experienced some red flags
Yes, I think everybody does at some
Impossible.
point in their lives.
Yeah. So I've got a few questions for you. Hope you don't mind
Okay.
answering it
Sure.
while I
Let's see if I
ask.
can answer them.
So tell us about your past relationships. Where did you guys meet? How did it end?
Past relationship. We met at a night out with friends. Yeah, I think it was a very good evening from my memories. So yeah, we met at a social with friends.
Okay, and what was the reason for it ending?
You know, when you meet someone, there's always the butterflies, there's always the chemistry, but little do you know what happens along the lines.
Yeah.
You know, I think we were just incompatible, and there were too many red flags.
Okay, yeah, and what are some of the red flags that you noticed after the relationship?
Okay, so communication in a relationship is very important for me. And I think as the relationship went on, the communication got one-sided. So I always had to initiate conversation or communication between us. And that was a red flag for me, because if we can't communicate, then how's it going to work? Because it's one of the key elements of a good relationship. So yeah.
And what attracted you to?
Oh, and there's more.
There's
red
more,
flags.
more to
There's
it?
more red
Okay.
flags. Yeah. So basically, the soft lies, those little lies that becomes bigger lies. So you need to watch out for them, because you can forgive. I don't say you can't forgive, but at the end, you must also acknowledge those lies for what it is. And there's also always being busy and not spending enough time, like having QT, quality time for us. So that was a red flag. And then also the controlling factor, where you're not so much invested in the relationship, but you're trying to control everything, and how it pans out and what you do and who you're with and that. And then also the friends, for me, like meeting new people and keeping those friends apart from the relationship, because when you're together in a relationship, I would say that you do things together, you meet new people, you become friends, but hiding friends and certain social groups is, it becomes a trust issue at the end. So that's another red flag for me. That was another red flag for me.
That does sound like a red flag.
Yeah.
Sounds like many red flags.
One too many.
and what attracted you to this person?
Well, it was a fun night out. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's good personalities is coming out and fun personalities is coming out. But that's what you see, or what you, at that point. But you get to know people as time goes on in a relationship and that. And so you learn certain things of people that maybe or might not work with what you want out of a relationship. So yeah.
And what would you say was your first red flag, or her first red flag that you noticed?
Definitely the communication, the one-sided communication, because when you feel a certain way, okay, but it's only coming from me, it's not a two-way thing. And I think a relationship is 50-50. You give 100%, I give 100%, or not at all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, and can you tell us a bit about like whether you still believe in love, or?
Yes, I do believe in love. I think every human being is capable of finding love or finding your person. Your person is out there, irrespective of what you go through, because those things you go through in a relationship only makes you stronger at the end of the day, and it enables you to recognize red flags and certain things that you're not comfortable with in a relationship. So yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Lee. After the break, we will ask the love doctor a bit more about what he thinks about your situation and what you went through.
Excited to hear.
Welcome back, guys. So just before this, Lee Jacobs gave us a bit of information when it came to his experience being in a toxic relationship and what red flags stood out for him. And now we are going to ask the love doctor what's his thoughts when it comes to Lee's previous relationships. So love doctor,
I'd actually first like to start out by saying high five to not forsaking love and, you know, still wanting to pursue love, because so many people that comes out of these toxic kind of relationships that's filled with red flags, they seem to lose interest in love, and that's what hurt does. And we sometimes need to heal ourselves before we can get into other relationships. So kudos to you for that, for getting over that, you know. And I can definitely relate, and I'd actually like to touch on the part where you said if you are not compatible with each other, the spark will definitely die. You need to be on the same level, as I put it. And I've been in a similar relationship where things went good in the beginning. You know, we liked each other and so on. But could we actually live together and do things together all the time? Because when we enter relationships, we don't just think of the now. We think of the future with that certain person. So all those things should run through your mind, and I'm actually glad that you...
What's the point?
What's the point pursuing something where you already figured out, no, this is not for me, too many red flags? And I'm glad you knew what you wanted, and you took it upon yourself to get out of that. So yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you for that, love doctor. So love doctor, now why do you think people such as Lee would ignore red flags and tolerate someone
Plain and
else's
simply,
behavior?
it's just because people like Lee is good people. They are pure-hearted.
Thank you for
And
saying that.
yeah, I won't need to do the whole love test to pick up, you know, if there's red flags or... But people like Lee sees beyond all the negative things in a person. They believe people can change and do better. And in the beginning, it's okay to feel that way and look beyond the bad. But I'm glad you came to a point where you also realized, no, nothing's ever going to change in this relationship. So as long as you took the step to move on, you know, yeah, that was good. That was good. You need to acknowledge those red flags for sure.
And what would you do if you were in Lee's situation?
I'd probably have I would have probably done the same thing Lee did. I can't really say, because look, Lee's situation, every person's situation is unique in their own way. I am the love doctor, so I don't really want to touch on too much what I would have done, but I think what Lee has done
Is more or less
was the
similar
right way of doing things.
to how you would have handled it as
sure,
well.
For sure.
Thank you so much for that.
Pleasure.
So, just on a more light-hearted note, we're going to play a bit of a game.
Okay.
It's called Red Flag. So on the side of the couch, you both
Do we win a
have...
prize?
I'm not sure about that, but we'll see.
That's cool.
So basically, I'm going to make a statement, and if it's a red flag for you, you will raise up the flag. If not, you don't. But if it's a red flag, raise it.
Raise the flag. Gotcha.
Okay, so my partner always hides their phone when I'm around.
Definitely.
Major red
Definitely
flag.
a red flag. Okay. Being late for a date?
No, I think anything could happen.
Anything.
Tire
Yeah, to make
bursts,
you late, yeah. So
things happen, you know.
not so much of a
And if it's intentionally,
problem.
you know, like being late,
Well, it depends on the situation. Then it
Then
could
maybe.
be, yeah.
Yeah.
so
It's,
depends.
it's
Yeah.
debatable.
Debatable.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
My partner is still friends with their ex.
I would say it's a red flag, but it
I-
also depends on the relationship.
I disagree. I feel like people are people and we should forgive and move on.
Yeah, but it also depends on the nature of the relationship.
And don't
But
you think
only
that
those two-
boundaries is like what's important?
Yeah.
If there's boundaries,
Yes.
that's
Of course,
being in
boundaries
place.
It's okay,
need to
but
be
they need
set.
to. They need to. be
Then it's
boundaries.
okay.
Yes,
Yeah. So we can
Yeah.
agree on that.
Yeah, you can.
Sure.
So red flag?
But it can be, and
Not-
it cannot.
Can, okay.
I think that's a half a red flag.
Yeah.
My partner gets jealous.
Red flag.
Well, I would say you get good jealousy and you get bad jealousy.
jealousy.
So who doesn't like a little bit of a?
We all like a little bit of jealousy. Yeah.
Yeah. So
True.
I won't say it's, but
I think it's
it comes
okay.
down to the nature of it.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
okay in the beginning of the relationship. You know, you still want to know that you got it. You know,
Yeah.
when your partner gets jealous.
Yeah. It gives you some type
Yeah,
of
it makes you feel good inside. You know.
appreciation and- yeah.
Okay. My partner wants me to delete my ex from social media. Is it a red flag or not?
I'd say not a red flag.
I'll also
I'd
agree.
say it's not a red flag.
And why do you say so?
Because it's just social media. What is there any truth to social media?
Yeah, again, as long as there are
Yeah.
boundaries, as long
As
as
long as
your
there's
partner
as
does not
long as
slide
it-
in
yeah.
your DMs on
Yeah.
social media,
I
then
agree.
I think
I
it's
agree.
okay.
I agree. I agree.
Debatable.
Yeah. My partner never takes me out on dates.
Red flag.
Yeah,
Yeah.
red flag.
Red flag.
Even for
flag.
me as a female, I think that's a
Yeah.
red flag.
every
You need some quality time
Yeah.
or like a date night
And it
or
should go
something.
Some
both
romantic,
ways, like not
yeah.
just the male taking the female
Yeah.
out on a date.
both ways.
Both
Yes,
ways.
nowadays it's 50-50.
It's 50-50
We
for sure.
we what is it? Protest for equality. So
Exactly,
you know?
exactly,
So,
exactly,
50-50.
exactly.
My partner doesn't believe in marriage.
I think that is a red flag.
Easily, like because
It says they're afraid of commitment.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
yes.
Feel the same way.
Definitely.
Because
yeah.
if you're in a relationship, what are you building towards?
Yeah.
Exactly.
My partner never offers to pay the bill or split the bill.
Cheap flag. Definitely red flag.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that means we can't work together, right?
Yeah.
True.
We're not working towards the same
Yeah.
goal.
Yes.
Yeah.
My partner doesn't eat sushi.
That's okay.
That's
Sushi
okay.
is
I
bad.
think,
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody has
I'm not a fan. So
their food fads.
for me, yeah.
My partner still lives with his or her parents.
Don't say that's a red flag.
won't
I
say
don't
that's
think
a
it's
red
a
Everyone
red
has
flag.
their
Yeah,
own time in
yeah,
life where
timeline
they
Yeah.
goals
move
and
out
stuff,
and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
and circumstances.
I suppose as long as he or she has their goals in place.
Yeah,
As
Yeah.
long as there's a clear direction and goal for where we
for
need to
sure.
go.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then just one last one. My partner does not want kids.
For me,
Well, it depends if you want kids.
yeah, I'd say red flag. Because it depends if you can have also.
So it
Yeah.
depends, yeah.
But we can adopt. So
Yeah.
I guess we all
Also,
want
I think
family.
also debatable.
Also debatable,
yeah.
quite debatable.
Quite
We'll need to come on to another segment of the show to continue that
discuss
conversation.
Okay. So there you have it, guys. Thank you so much to Lee Jacobs and the Love Doctor for joining us today. Thank you to our viewers that participated and to you viewers that are watching. Please join us next week as we will be having an interesting discussion with a different life coach on family troubles. Our Love Doctor will be taking us to Love Land with a sweet melody. Until then, take care.
She may be weary, woman to get weary. We're in the same shabby dress, and when she's weary, try a little tenderness. She may be waiting, just anticipating things she may never roses, and while she's without them, try a little tenderness. It's not just sentimental. She has a grief and a care, but a world so soft and gentle makes it easier to bear. You won't regret it. Woman, don't forget it. Love is that whole happiness, and it's all so easy. Just try a little tenderness.